Welcome to the Open Word, an online ministry of Boone Open Bible Church. On today's program, we bring you A Word from the Pastor, featuring Phil Waldo. And now, here's Phil.
Hi everyone, Pastor Phil here. On Sundays, I've been preaching a series called Matters of the Mind. Our minds matter. In fact, the Bible talks about our minds and about our thoughts, as in Romans 12:2, which says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." The New Living Translation puts it this way: "Let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think." Thoughts are powerful, and Jesus knew this, and he challenged thoughts. Many of his listeners had preconceived ideas that were wrong, and Jesus confronted that. He encouraged people to think about their priorities, and he encouraged others to think before they spoke and to think about the outcome of their decisions. He understood that thoughts are powerful. Even today, we have thoughts that aren't right and they need to be corrected. Here's a common one: I'm not as bad as a lot of other people. Well, Jesus challenges this kind of thinking and says that we need to think realistically about ourselves. Thoughts are powerful, and thoughts change us. Dr. Caroline Leaf, in her book Switch on Your Brain, explains how research shows that as we think, we actually change the physical nature of our brain. That's phenomenal, but God already knew that. Proverbs 23 verse 7 says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." This is profound. How we think has a real effect on who we are and how we behave. Even science is finding this to be true. According to Dr. Leaf, science shows that our thoughts, with their embedded feelings, turn sets of genes on and off in complex relationships. Research shows that DNA actually changes shape according to our thoughts. Thoughts change us. So think about what you think about. Now back to Romans 12:2. "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." The battleground between conforming to the world and being transformed is within the mind of the believer. We all struggle with our thoughts, and we need to begin aligning our thoughts with the truth of God's Word. Here are some examples. You think it's impossible, but God's Word says all things are possible, Luke 18:27. And you think, I can't go on, but God says my grace is sufficient, 2 Corinthians 12:9. Or you think, I can't do it, but God's Word says you can do all things, Philippians 4:13. Or you might think, I'm afraid, but God's Word says I have not given you a spirit of fear, 2 Timothy 1:7. Or you might think, I'm not smart enough, but God's Word says I give you wisdom, 1 Corinthians 1:30. Or you might think, I'm all alone, but God's Word says I will never leave you, Hebrews 13:5. Now what might happen if you started believing all this? Thoughts change us, so think about what you think about. It's a matter of the mind. Thoughts are powerful. So, what do you think? We'll see you next time.